What's happening, folks? So, it's a cool fall morning here in Northeast Ohio, and I'm going to be starting a series on what is a modern outdoorsman? What's everybody think? And I'd really love to hear in the comments, like, what do you think an outdoorsman is? What skills should he possess? What knowledge should he have? What abilities should he have? And so I'm going to start this with what I think, to me, an outdoorsman, you love nature and you want to be outside in nature and you want to be versed in multiple skills, to survive in nature, be it for a day, a night, a week, whatever. And there's many different pursuits. Okay, I know some people that love to be out on their four-wheelers. Some people like rock climbing. Some people are bird watching, hiking, and of course fishing and hunting. Me personally, I've always liked the seeking out adventure, and including fishing and hunting into it if possible. But I've always liked the adventure. So, I'm just going to give my take and what I think, is a bare minimum, to always be prepared. Like today, I didn't have work. It's a cool morning. I decided to make this video, but I'm also at a local park doing some fishing. So I'm going to start with, what do you wear? How do you dress? What's on your person? So I'm just in a hoodie. I gotta switch hands. Some khakis and some boots. Okay? And I'm filming with my phone and I'm not used to the selfie mode. But I'm gonna do a pocket dump just to show what I think everybody should have on them. You never know what today can hold, right? So I switch it around. In my one pocket, I always carry a Swiss Army knife. Now I like this one because it has the saw, the Phillips, the awl, and it has the eyelet for sewing. And of course the can opener and screwdriver, and the two blades. Some cash. Always have cigarettes in a Zippo. A little fire starter. Some Carmex. My keys with a can opener. A folding knife. And a flashlight. Now I think the flashlight is important because let's say you're at the grocery store, you're wherever, and the power goes out. Having a flashlight, you can see what the hell you're doing. I mean, I pull it out of my pocket multiple times a day. So I think that's the start. A day like today, I have the cook set in the Jeep. I could go make a little fire and, cook lunch. But I am in the city. Not everything is, true country life or out in the woods. Unfortunately, raising kids, I'm in the city for their schools. So, you gotta take the good with the bad. I like the modern convenience, and that's why I got my Dunkin' coffee this morning. So, to me, I think an outdoorsman is a love of nature, in whatever pursuit you choose to enjoy it through, but it's always being prepared. It starts, how do you dress? You dress for the weather. I like to stay in earth tones, so if I go out into the woods, I'm not standing out, I'm not drawing attention, I'm not making a scene. I can, like I said, I just got my coffee, drove up the road, pulled into a park, and I'm fishing in between the rain. So it's kind of nice being in a little pavilion, because it's starting to rain pretty good right now. But what makes an outdoorsman? What do you choose to pursue? Like I said, for me, it's always the adventure. You know, whether it's a road trip, exploring an unknown dirt road, throwing a canoe in a creek and, floating down just to see what kind of fish are there. Where can I camp? I'm fascinated by history. Lewis and Clark, their adventures and how they discovered America. George Washington Sears, Horace Kephart, Henry David Thoreau. What people don't realize is after he wrote Walden and lived in the cabin for the 2.5 years, he went up to Maine and explored what is now the Allagash Wilderness Waterway by canoe. And he took quite a while to do that. And that's the sense of adventure that I enjoy, and the fishing and the hunting along the way. So, I don't know. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd like to see more of. And the next video, I'm going to talk about vehicles. What is your choice in vehicle, and how prepared is the vehicle for adventure? So I hope everybody has a great day.